You know, it ain't easy to be a kid. Kids are constantly bombarded with conflicting messages from grown-ups. Trust your gut. Listen to your heart. Use your inner voice. But don't open your mouth and speak until you know what you're talking about, right? Don't actually trust your intuition because your intuition may lead you into a dangerous position, right? It's super confusing, and kids are actually left paralyzed, afraid to move, afraid to make bold choices in their lives sometimes. And this is where improv comes into it. Improv can cultivate skills that lead kids to trust their own gut. And when they trust their own gut and when they listen to their own voices, they discover things they didn't even know were possible. Stick with me and we'll talk about it. Hi, and welcome to Classroom Confidential and Zoomprov games. My name is Christopher Youngren, and I'm a middle school ELA teacher in Tucson, Arizona. You know, when we're kids, we don't have to be taught to play. We don't have to be taught to open up our imaginations and be silly. We just do it. It's instinctive. We go, hey, I'm Captain Zippy, king of the universe, or I'm a pretty ballerina, whatever. And we don't fear judgment because we haven't learned self-doubt. We haven't learned self-judgment. But as we get older, we start developing these creeping insecurities, and imagination sometimes gets drummed out of us by people who are telling us, hey, pay attention and do what you're supposed to do and stop being silly, right? Until we get to like the middle school years, and all of a sudden, and maybe some of you will relate to this, you know, we as teachers ask middle schoolers a question and we're just met with dead silence because they're afraid to use their voices, especially with distance learning and Zoom. And so it's so important to cultivate these skills constantly throughout our lifetime by utilizing things like improv. Improv reminds us as adults how to play again. The same way we did when we were children and our imaginations were exploding and our creativity was flourishing. Somewhere along the way, we lost sight of that. When we were kids and somebody would come to our house and say, hey, you want to play? We're like, yes, of course I want to play. Bye, Mom, I'm going to play. And yet as adults, if someone came to us and said, you want to play? We'd be like, play what? What are you talking about? What are you selling? Somewhere along the way, we lost sight of the playfulness that makes us feel truly alive. And that's where improv can help. As educators, it is so important for us to continually cultivate and nurture these skills, especially in those awkward teenage years from like middle school through high school, a time when kids really become riddled with anxiety and emotions and insecurity and body image issues, and they stop listening to those unique voices inside of them that make them the special people they are, who have really interesting and important things to contribute to the world. But instead, they stop playing. They stop trusting their gut. They become closed off and they push the world out. So if we continually teach them how to play and remind them how much they have to gain simply by trusting their gut, listening to their intuition, they'll be shocked at what they find. The terrific thing about improv is that it cultivates an environment of safety, a no bully zone, a non-judgment zone, where kids are able to explore and engage with those around them with a freedom that they know is going to be received with open arms. One of the very foundations of improv is yes and, which means whatever you give to your partner, they need to not only accept, but build upon. And when you have people working together who accept what the other person is offering and then build upon it, and then the first person builds upon that, sky's the limit on where the imagination can take them. And it all starts with trusting your gut, not listening to your head, but listening to your heart, letting your heart guide you with the first instinct that you have, because the first instinct is usually the right one. If your gut is telling you that something is probably not safe, you should should probably listen to it. If your gut is telling you that you really should go after this thing, you should probably listen to it. But half of the time what happens is that our head gets in the way and we end up thinking ourselves into paralysis. And so we end up not making any moves at all. And that's why improv is so great, because we put ourselves out there continually. And by putting ourselves out there continually and being received again with positivity from the people around us, it teaches us that it's okay to trust our heart and listen to those inner voices, because what we're going to find more often than not, at least in this environment, is acceptance. And when we find acceptance in others, it's so much easier to accept ourselves. You know, it might not be easy at first. A lot of kids might have gotten stuck in a rut where they've forgotten how to play, where they don't know how to engage creatively with others. Just be patient. Stick with them. Stick with these games. Keep trying them. I know we're in a weird world right now where distance learning has made everything more difficult, and that a lot of the games that I present on this channel would work a lot easier in real life. But they do work on Zoom. They do work in the virtual classroom. But it may not be easy at first, especially when kids are feeling kind of so cut off and distanced from the rest of the world anyway. But like I say, stick with it. Continually encourage them to take risks and listen to their hearts, to take chances, to encourage each other, to make their partners look good, to say yes and you will eventually be amazed and delighted at the things you find coming out of your students. Hey, thanks for joining me today. If you got value out of this video, smash that like button for me. I also offer private coaching sessions for educators, children, and business professionals with team building games. If you'd like more information, contact me at the email below. Hey, if you like this video, check this one out. It's another great one. And if you're enjoying all my videos, subscribe to my channel and I'll keep them coming. Stay safe out there, be well, take care of yourselves, and take care of someone else. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.